It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
House Speaker Paul Ryan has been a bigger disaster for the liberty movement than even his predecessor, John Boehner. Now that he won his primary, Ryan wants to change a House procedural rule that was written by Thomas Jefferson himself, a change that will turn Ryan into a permanent emperor of the House. Instead of Speaker Ryan, America will be forced to call him Emperor Ryan. Imagine what will happen to America if we end up being stuck with Mr. Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Mad Mullah of Madison, as a Speaker of the House for another 2 or 3 decades. Strike that, Emperor of the House. Let me give you some context for this because it dates back several years. When John Boehner became Speaker of the House back in 2010, thanks to the Tea Party and the conservative Christian Revolution, Boehner became Barack Obama's best friend. Boehner immediately turned his back on America, the Tea Party, the conservatives, the patriots who put him into the leader's chair. And when he returned to his big money globalist corporations, and Boehner proceeded to give Obama every single thing Obama asked for. We never knew exactly what blackmail leverage Obama had on Boehner, but it must have been very salacious. In 5 years as a Speaker of the House, John Boehner did not accomplish a single thing to slow down Barack Obama's agenda. He fully funded Obamacare, amnesty, the stealth refugee program, and the immigrant program that imported millions of unvetted Muslims over and above congressional caps. Boehner negotiated a special Obamacare exemption for Congress that you and your family were never eligible for. He did everything Obama wanted, and as a result, Boehner became one of the most reviled figures in America. We fought 5 years to drive him out of the Speaker's chair, and that effort was finally successful in 2015. Many of our followers were mad at us for not supporting Boehner. We showed them and the world that Boehner was and still is bad for America. We had whittled away Boehner's support in the Republican conference to the point that Congressman Mark Meadows of North Carolina filed a so-called privileged motion to vacate the Speaker's chair. In an act of, you can't fire me because I quit, Boehner resigned as House Speaker rather than go through the shame of being booted out of office. So, we won. Well, with that history in the background, we'll look at Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan, along with a hangover leadership team that is really Boehner's old leadership team, is trying to perpetually prevent the same fate befalling Emperor Ryan. To do that, they need to do away with the rule that Mark Meadows used in 2015 to get rid of Boehner. That's the privileged motion to vacate the Speaker's chair. That is written personally by Thomas Jefferson and was enacted by Congress the year before Thomas Jefferson became President of the United States. Under that rule, any member of Congress can file a motion to vacate the chair at any time, the chair being the House chair, the House leader chair. You probably heard of Robert's Rules of Order, the parliamentary procedures for holding meetings. Well, the privileged motion to vacate the Speaker's chair in the House of Representatives is from a different set of rules of order. Thomas Jefferson's rules, the one that he personally wrote. The Jefferson rule that allows any member of Congress to file a privileged motion has been in place since America was founded. That rule is in place so that we can't have any elected official become an emperor in the House of Representatives. But Emperor Ryan and his team of goons are trying to change the Jefferson rule so that a mere majority of the conference in power would be needed to file a privileged motion. If that rule change happens, you can forget about ever ousting Emperor Ryan unless we give up control of the House to the godless socialist Democrats. This rule change would make it virtually impossible to replace Emperor Ryan. It upsets a rule Thomas Jefferson himself created. And you have to ask yourself a question. Have we in the United States fallen this far that we're going to allow what is actually titled the Constitution of the House to be changed simply to accommodate one man's glory. Emperor Ryan's goons say that this privilege motion is dangerous. What is dangerous is overturning the Jefferson rule that was created specifically to prevent the Speaker of the House from overthrowing the government and keeping himself in control of that chamber indefinitely. It's like a miniature version of Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, or Mao. Emperor Ryan only endorsed Donald Trump, for example, when he finally realized it would hurt him in the primary election if he didn't. Emperor Ryan stands in the way of all progress and meaningful reforms that a Trump administration would try to make. This unvetted refugee zealot, which is why I call him the Mad Mullah from Madison, says that restricting unvetted refugees from coming into the country doesn't reflect American values, even though America historically has used those values to restrict unvetted immigrants, and it did actually apply to Italian and German terrorists, arsonists, and saboteurs from immigrating here 100 years ago. Ryan could be Speaker of the House for decades to come if the Jefferson rule is changed. So we need to push back and push it back immediately. Emperor Ryan's leadership team is sneaking around trying to get enough votes in favor of this rule change. We can beat him if enough people still believe our Constitution is worth fighting for. And in this case, our Constitution is the Constitution of the House, written by Jefferson. We need to tell all the representatives in both parties that this rule change is a bad idea and we don't support it. It's not good for the Democrats and it's not good for the Republicans, and especially it's not good for America. That way, with all of them behind us, we can scuttle Ryan's dictatorship from the outside. This is how we beat the socialists that are ruining and plundering America. And believe me, there are a lot of Democrats who, even though they belong to that party, nevertheless are Americans, and they'll stand by America, especially when it comes to imposing a dictatorship by somebody like Ryan. So it's your duty to speak out. And the way you do that is you go to our action page and start sending personalized letters to Congress, starting with a House Freedom Caucus. We'll have instructions for you on the next screen explaining how to get to our action page. Go there now. Give your word. Tell Congress they need to back the Jeffersonian Constitution and House rules and not allow Ryan to try this banana republic takeover. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings.
Help us stop Emperor Paul Ryan from taking over the House of Representatives as a dictator. If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find a link to our action page, or check the video's description. Speak out today.